and welcome to the Cincinnati Chamber's monthly member briefing. I'm Thomas Deere, the Vice President of Sales Engagement at the Chamber, and I want to thank each of you for joining us today and for your membership. Together, we can and will do amazing things. These sessions are designed to provide our Chamber members with the information, solutions, and connections to keep businesses thriving. You have joined today in listen-only mode with your microphones and cameras muted. We encourage you to ask questions throughout the program using the Zoom chat box. I want to introduce Brendon Cull, Executive Vice President and Chief Strategy Officer of the Cincinnati Regional Chamber. Brendon?
Thanks, Thomas. How are you, everybody? Great to start off with a little Springsteen this morning. Always gets me going. I'm so glad to be here with you today, and I want to send regards from Jill Meyer, our President and CEO, who is out of town this week and unavailable. But we both say thank you to all of you for participating in this forum and for all you're doing to keep our economy up and running smoothly. You know, as much as we were feeling like things were loosening in the past few months, we've obviously seen a dramatic change in tone related to the pandemic. And so my up top comments today are short and sweet. Get vaccinated. Encourage your employees to get vaccinated. It's simple, it's easy, it will help us get back to normal. At the Chamber, we've been calling all of our members every day. A new colleague in my office in partnership with the Health Collaborative, Kamaria Walton, has been calling members daily, asking them what they need in terms of getting information to their employees. If you need something or your employees need something related to how to find out how to get vaccinated, how to help your employees with more information, call us at the Chamber. You can call me directly. You can call Kamaria, and we will happily help you. We will even come to you. If you have 20 or more people who want to get vaccinated, we will send a health van to you to get vaccinated. This is so important for us to get back to normal. We had a nice few months where things were going much better. Obviously, the tone has changed. And so our thoughts are with everyone in the health system as they continue to navigate this and with all of you as you continue to navigate your businesses. We know that things are changing by the minute. So please make sure you open our emails and all of our updates when they come out so that you get the latest information about COVID and our region's continued response. It's truly important. Like we've done for 18 months, our Chamber will keep you up to date. A few other quick things that I will say before we get to Candace. We have started to bring some events back and we're really excited about it. We're finding most of the people who come to our events tell us that they're vaccinated and others want to wear masks. We think that's great. Last night, thanks to my colleagues, Lori Salzarulo and Christina Masali and Amy Thompson, we had our first Women Executive Leadership Program, Women Excel Leadership Program in Washington Park with Brittany Ruby Miller and Kristen Irwin Schlotman from Film Cincinnati. They did a tremendous job. We announced our housing report last week in Friday, which Mark Kylander from the Chamber is going to tell you about just a little bit later. Check our website today if you're interested. At noon, our federal transportation program kicks off with Senator Sherrod Brown, the Undersecretary of the Department of Transportation, Polly Trottenberg, and Mayor John Cranley, who will be talking about infrastructure, obviously a hot topic as the Senate gets ready to vote for it. Next, on August the 10th, we have our first Converge networking program, our first in-person networking program back together, which is great. So you can check out our website. And then the final thing I want to say before we get to Candace here is I want to plug my good friend Mel Gravely's book, which came out this week. It's called Dear White Friend. Mel Gravely, many of you know, was the chair of the board of this organization, is a tremendous speaker and author and has been CEO of Triversity for a long time, helped us found the Minority Business Accelerator. Check this book out. It's available on Amazon. I think you're going to read a lot about it here in Cincinnati. And it's great to know that such an active member of our business community is speaking about these critically important issues. I think it's a personal and passionate book, and I highly recommend it to you as business leaders. Okay, now let me introduce my very good friend, Candace McGraw. It is hard to be a saint in the city, but Candace definitely is. She is one of the greatest leaders in our region. She just celebrated her 10th anniversary as the CEO of CVG, and I think it is fair to say that these are our airport's glory days. To say that she has turned around the airport would be a huge understatement. Her leadership has taken our airport and our travelers quite literally to the promised land. Southwest, Frontier, Delta, lower fares, economic development, innovation. And she hasn't forgotten about the airport. She hasn't forgotten about the part of the airport that some used to call the back streets. Now the airport is a huge economy, serving Amazon Prime Air, DHL, Wayfair, Atlas, and so much more. CVG isn't an airport, it's an economy. There has been so much development in and around the airport, a growth of $1 billion in economic impact, so much that we've almost been blinded by the light. If you haven't been lately, you haven't seen the new rental car facility, which is coming soon and which will soon allow all of us to go grab a car and go racing in the streets. Around the world, people say about Candace, she's the one. She's the chair of the Airports Council International, a member of the executive committee of the Airports Council World. Thanks to her, CVG has been recognized as the best regional airport in North America for the last 7 of 8 years and recognized as the world's best airport by Skytrax. She was named Best Boss of Northern Kentucky in part because of her kind human touch. She was growing up in the business in Cleveland when she ran the airport there and worked for the city. And we're so glad that she now says that Cincinnati is, quote, my hometown. Everything she has done has been for you. And if you haven't noticed, she's also a huge Bruce Springsteen fan, which of course makes her an enlightened soul. Candace, thank you so much for your leadership and your friendship. Please take it away.
Brendon, that was the best ever. Everybody can tell that Brendon and I have a shared love for Bruce Springsteen, who has decided to join me here today. You know, with him looking over my shoulder, I am luckier than the rest. So for all of you, go back and look at all the Springsteen references. That was sheer brilliance, Brendon Cull. So thank you. Let me talk a little bit about the airport. I think we'll just do a few remarks and then I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have as well. So bring them on. So let's talk a little bit, and everybody's good with Bruce joining me. I hope we don't need to have him leave, but I feel like he will bring us some good energy. So let's talk about the impact of the pandemic and the return to normal. I was hopeful we would say we're post-pandemic, and as Brendon alluded to, we're certainly far from that. So I echo him in encouraging all of you to get your vaccination. If you come to the airport to travel, there is the federal government still requires you to wear a mask when you're at or on the airport. So please don't forget that. We will ask you to mask up. That order is in place currently through mid-September. I assume, you know, the government will continue to look at that as cases, you know, ebb or flow. But let's talk just about the impact of the pandemic on the airport. For those of you who have traveled, great, thank you. We welcome you back to the airport. At the beginning of the pandemic, which seems like a million years ago because we've all been through so much, our traffic dropped precipitously. We lost 95% of our traffic overnight. Those first few months of the pandemic, we had about 5% of the flights we had in 2019. I'm pleased to say we closed 2020 at about 45% of our flights. We budgeted 2021 to be at about 50%, and I think we'll end this year probably in the neighborhood of 65 to 70% of our traffic that we had in 2019. So thankfully, things have rebounded a bit quicker. For those of you who have come through the airport recently, you'll notice through the summer months, June, July, August, we're at about 80% of our 2019 traffic volumes. So that's great news. Even in the midst of the pandemic, we were able to welcome Alaska Airlines coming to CVG. They have great daily service out to Seattle for a connection on, like, Seattle, great city to visit, right? But if you want to get to Alaska or Hawaii or any place West Coast, that's an option for you. We're also able to welcome Sun Country. And they were doing direct flights into Minneapolis. And then we're hoping they'll grow their network from there. Minneapolis is their home base. As I said, leisure travel is rebounding. We recently worked with University of Cincinnati Center for Economics to do a survey of all of you, our business travelers, trying to gauge when you might all be comfortable traveling again, you know, what that will do to our business. The response was folks believed that the travel for business would resume again third and fourth quarter of this year. The good signal for us was that folks indicated that their 2022 travel budgets would look very similar to their 2019 travel budgets. Everybody that was in my industry, and I assume in some of your businesses, we had quite the discussion about what the impact of the virtual meetings would be, and would that have a negative impact on business travel? In the short term, we don't think so. I think people are anxious to get out, see their colleagues, have in-person meetings. And so we'll be happy to welcome you back to the airport. The one good metric we experienced throughout the pandemic was our increase in cargo volume. And, we're very thankful for our cargo partners here at DHL and Amazon and FedEx to a lesser extent. Our cargo volumes continued to boom throughout the pandemic. We finished 2020, I think, at about 22% increase over the prior year. And from the years 2015 through 2020, our cargo traffic grew 83%. So we added, more on top of that. And this year we're tracking, I think, up about year to date, about 15% on top of our 2020 volumes. So we're very thankful for our cargo partners. It helps literally pay our bills, keep our lights on, helps keeps the rates low for our passenger carriers. And I think that will be integral as traffic comes back, as airlines are very cautious about their bottom line. We very much want to make this a cost-effective airport for them to do business so that you can do business. Let's talk real quickly about our large construction projects. For those of you who may have been to the airport, you've seen this huge building going on at the front of our terminal. That is our consolidated rental car facility. I'm pleased to say that will open in early to mid-October of this year. It is a facility that appended to the terminal. So if you need to rent a car, your customers are coming into town, they want to rent a car, they will no longer have to get on a bus, be bused to the rental car facilities. It's a walkable solution. That building that's appended is the customer service building. On the lower level that adjoins bag claim, and that's where you'll conduct your rental car transactions. On the upper level that's attached to ticketing will eventually be built out and be expanded ticketing. Day one, that won't happen. We're working with the carriers on what their long-term needs are, but that'll give us room to breathe. And what will be exciting, not only will it be great customer service, in the customer service building itself, there'll be covered parking now for all the hotel shuttles, valet, etc. Right, a nice walkable solution. And we've partnered with Artworks, who are doing two great murals with local artists. One a Cincinnati artist, one a Northern Kentucky artist, working with their great constituents, and that'll be open when the facility opens this fall. For those of you who live in proximity to the airport and say, hey, the noise patterns have changed, it's very loud, that's because we've been doing a major runway reconstruction project. That $60 million project will wrap up in November. Traffic patterns will go back to normal, but that was a project on our primary cargo runway, and we wanted to make sure all of that was done before our friends at Amazon had their facility up and operational. For those of you who aren't familiar with our cargo story, DHL is a wonderful tenant here. We are their second largest operation in the world. We are their global super hub for the Americas. And across the street from DHL, Amazon has made a huge investment, $1.5 billion investment for us to be their largest US hub. That will open this fall as well. They're going to open it. It's being constructed in multiple phases. First phase will be up and operational. That will accommodate their current traffic and then continue to grow over the next, however many years it takes to finally build that out. But when the sort facility there is done, it will be a mile long start to finish, plus all the associated items. Again, that project was about $1.5 billion. And I know they're looking to hire several thousands of employees to work. We're all being faced with those workforce challenges. I think what they're doing is trying to automate additional processes to address that. And quickly, let's look ahead. As Brendon alluded to, we're very proud of the economic impact we have on our region. So as he mentioned, I've been in this role 10 years, big on benchmarking. I'd like to know, are we making progress? And I want to be very transparent with the community because this is your asset. I want you to know, are we managing it well for you? Are we being good stewards? So in 2013, we published our first economic impact study. It was done as a collaboration between the University of Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky University. And that was using 2012 figures. And we had an economic impact, annual economic impact for this community of $3.4 billion. So then we said, all right, what's the right interval to do this? And we've decided every 3 years we'll do this. So we did the second one using, 3 years later, we were at $4.4 billion economic impact. We did our third one, and again, same universities doing it, so nobody's putting their thumb on the scale, same methodologies. Our 2018 numbers were that we had a $6.8 billion economic impact in this community. So we were able to double that in the period of between 2013 and 2018. So, and we wanted to get that study done before the Amazon build out was complete, before some of our other projects here are complete. And I think we'll just continue to do that and provide a good benchmark over the course of time. I invite all of you to check out our website, cvgairport.com. You'll see our strategic plan up there, and I'll tell you, it's one page. I'm a huge believer, if you can't show it on one page and synthesize it down and get your elevator pitch succinct, we're not going to be able to sell it. Our employees aren't going to be able to engage in it and focus on it. And we have a pretty bold vision statement on there. We have said we're going to be the catalyst that transforms the region. And how are we looking to do that? You'll soon be hearing about a very broad economic development strategy we hope to engage our partners in. But one of the things we want to double down on here is our cargo position. We are the only airport I know in North America, I know maybe all of the Americas, that have 2 dual cargo hubs. That's a key differentiator for us. And right down the street, we have UPS. North of us, we have Dayton and all of the great aviation and aeronautic studies they're doing there, between Wright-Patterson, et cetera. I think we really need, as a region, to double down on that and claim that is the differentiator we have globally, because that can't be replicated anywhere in the world. I often drive, say, between Dayton down to Louisville, and I see vacant pieces of land, and I think that could be a manufacturing site for an airport, for an airplane part, et cetera. That's what we're going to focus on. Right here at CVG, what we're envisioning is, a row of hangars that can accommodate maintenance repair operations. Those are good paying jobs. Aircraft mechanics, after a 2-year certification, say at Cincinnati State, will start at $80,000 a year. All the innovation that can come with that. We are heavily involved in the innovation space. We recently entered into an agreement with Miami University to operate their airport for them. We're envisioning that as a little test hub. We'd like to get into more drone activity, vertiports for the eVTOLs, et cetera. We've worked with a company here called 4Drive. They were a startup, hugely successful now, looking at automation. We've worked with them to automate a bag cart, right? How do we get your luggage from the aircraft over to the terminal in a more seamless, quick manner, particularly with workforce issues? So you'll hear more about those kinds of strategies. And finally, one of the things I'm excited about is our kind of partnership and leaning in with the Chamber and their Connected Community initiative on how we can look at transportation in a different way, in a more unified way, working to say, how do we at CVG benefit from getting folks from Westchester down here to fill those thousands of jobs? How can the transit systems work more seamlessly together? And I think you'll hear more about that partnership in the days to come. And with that, Brendon, I'm happy to answer any questions. And
good. We've got some. That was perfect. Thank you so much. We've got some good questions so far in the chat. Let me start here. Some questions about international flights, specific about London potentially someday. And I know that even a question is how we benchmark against other major airports across the country. How are you looking at international right now?
Yeah, so international, we have the direct flight to Paris. It's been, of course, suspended because of the pandemic, but that for the longest time is the only international direct flight in all of Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. And that was a partnership with Delta. They do intend to bring that flight back. It keeps getting pushed. The date gets pushed right now. It's scheduled for October 30th. One of the reasons it's getting pushed is about a good bit of the passengers on that plane are beyond markets, beyond Paris. A lot in India, a lot in Asia. And until those regions of the world stabilize, could be a little difficult. We can, Air Canada will be bringing back Toronto. I think later this month. They've timed that flight up perfectly, that it's a one-stop anywhere in the world. So I'd invite you to take a look at that. And we are continuing to look at additional international routes. We would love London service. I think we were making great strides in that prior to the pandemic hitting. And, we'll be re-engaging all of those folks for some direct international service.
That's great. That Toronto flight is fantastic. Have done that, and you really can go anywhere with that. So thank you.
Hey, real quick too, and I always fail to think about in terms of international. Hey, for those of you who want to just go to any of the vacation spots, the Caribbean, those sorts of things, we are the #1 airport in terms of service from Vacation Express. So we have more flights here to all of those vacation destinations than any of their other locations.
Oh, it's great. I think a lot of us wish we could go there right now. Okay, so you talked about the new parking garage. Some questions about parking in general, but one in particular I think is interesting. Are you thinking about electric charging in the parking garage? What's that going to look like?
Yeah, two things. One, we already have electric charging stations in the parking garage. We've had them for probably 8 years. Clearly, we don't have enough of them, or not marked if folks are asking about them, but we will be leaning more heavily into electric charging stations, both at the garage. We'll have them throughout. We're looking at the surface lots as well. We have a partnership with Electrata, which is a great local company that we're trying to figure out how to lean more into the sustainability space relative to that. Parking, I'm not going to sugarcoat, is a challenge right now at the airport. And one of the reasons it's a challenge is because we're having trouble finding our CDL drivers. Our parking management contractor is having difficulty finding enough drivers for our surface shuttle lots. That's why we've been wedging everybody into the parking garage. I mean, it is a passenger convenience, but it also minimizes our need to bus you. Hopefully, as folks start to come back to work, you'll be able to enjoy more concessions in the airport, and parking the stress on it will dissipate a little bit.
Yeah, that's great. I know that the CDL shortage is not just at the airport, it's everywhere right now, and a real challenge.
Yeah, I've jokingly said I've missed my calling. I should have been a CDL bus driver or a barista, because I, might be more gainfully employed than I am now.
So big message is you're hiring at the airport right now.
I'll tell you, we are hiring. Thank you for bringing that up. Let's talk about that. Pre-pandemic, we started an effort here. We were calling this Strategic Workforce Collaborative. Knowing that workforce was an issue pre-pandemic, we said, how can we engage all of our tenants? We have about 72 different tenants here in the airport, in a fashion where we can try to figure out how to grow the pot of potential employees. And we were making some good strides in that, working with veterans organizations, some of the universities, local schools. The River City schools in Northern Kentucky very much engaged. Pandemic hits. So now we're going to re-engage that initiative. We have, I'm sure, thousands of jobs here opening at the airport. please check out our website. We have a job portal where any job that's open for any of our tenants is right there. And we try to aggregate that all together, making it easy as a one-stop shop for folks looking for employment.
That is great. To the group on the call, we won't be able to hear you, but help me thank Candace McGraw for her time this morning. This has been a great dialogue. As you sign off, one last question from Jill Jansen, your favorite Springsteen song?
I would say Thunder Road.
Thunder Road.
And your favorite?
Waves or Sways?
It is Waves.
Oh, all right, very good.
And
right.
what about you?
I would have said Waves too.
All right, there you go.
Lots of Springsteen humor this morning. Thank you all for indulging us. I'm going to turn it back over to my colleague Thomas Deere. Candace, thank you so much. Have a great morning.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Great update, Candace. What's happening at the airport is very impressive. And as a former Minnesotan, I thank you for the Sun Country flights. I guess that means my in-laws will be visiting more, but that's all right. And thank you, Brendon. It is my pleasure to introduce 3 chamber members implementing significant initiatives to connect and grow our local economy. This morning, you're going to hear from Myron Hughes at Blue Rose Supply, Rachel Fife at CME Pipelining, and Carl Satterwhite at the RCF Group. First up is Myron Hughes. He's the Managing Director of Blue Rose Supply. Myron is an alumni of the Chamber where he served in economic development role and is also a graduate of Leadership Cincinnati Class of 32. Myron has owned Blue Rose Supply for over 4 years. Prior to owning Blue Rose Supply, he worked at his alma mater, the University of Cincinnati, Go Bearcats, as head of the Alumni Association and Senior Vice President of Development for Diversity and Inclusion. Welcome, Myron.
Thank you very much, Tom. It's great to be back and be a part of the Chamber. Again, I'm the managing director of Blue Rose Supply. We are a facility solution distribution company based here in Cincinnati. And actually next month, we will celebrate our 5th year in business. So of course, if you want to send me a gift, cash is always great to receive. So thank you very much. We distribute a very variety of different products to many different businesses, from hand soap to air freshener to facial tissue, toilet tissue, just to name a few things that we distribute to our various companies that we deal with. We have over 20,000 products that we distribute or have access to, and we try to get those out in a very timely manner to all our customers. I basically like to say, if you have a facility, then we have a solution. So therefore, we try to focus on working with almost anyone that has a restroom in their place. So we work with airports, transportation facilities, churches, manufacturers, nonprofits, as well as office clients. But again, if you have a restroom, then you're a potential customer. And what our core values are leadership, integrity, focus, attention, and trust. Again, leadership, integrity, focus, attention, and trust. We try to focus on really taking care of our customers. So integrity and trust is very important to us, and we don't want to try and compromise that at all. So again, the focus is on our customers and making sure that we have great customer service. People ask me, why did I get into this particular line of work? I used to work a lot with the real estate industry, and one of the things that came to mind about real estate is that all real estate needs to be clean. So initially, I thought about, how do we establish a cleaning company? But someone told me there's occasions where you might have to get up at 1 o'clock in the morning and clean toilets, and that's something that I did not want to do. So therefore, we started to look at ways that we can continue to provide products to the cleaning industry. So hence, Blue Rose Supply was created. And our focus now is how do we expand? And as I said before, it's a big focus on restrooms. Therefore, we're trying to look at ways to help out with working with the construction industry to get various products to the construction companies, so that we can get things started on the very front end of the construction opportunities that might exist before people actually use or need their hand soap and toilet tissue. People ask me from time to time, why the name Blue Rose? Well, blue is my favorite color. Rose is my mother's name, and unfortunately she passed away when I was 11 years old. So basically the name of the company is basically to honor her and her legacy, and we'll always have her deep in my heart with all the things that I go about doing. And so Blue Rose was developed. Again, Blue Rose, it's something to me that's memorable, but also unique. People have never seen a blue rose, so that's something that we would like to share with people, is that here's something that you'll never forget, a blue rose. So how do we continue to push our name, push the products out there in front of as many people as we possibly can, as we continue to develop and grow our business to as many places throughout the country. Right now, most of our business is here in the greater Cincinnati region. We just started to expand to places outside of the region, we'll say within a 90-mile drive time of Cincinnati. And so that's what we're trying to focus on and trying to grow to expand and to grow as much as we possibly can. Thank you very much, Tom, for the opportunity. And thank you, Chamber staff, for allowing me to share a little bit about Blue Rose with you. Thank you.
Brendon, thank you so much. I love having the props. It gives a clear display of what you guys have to offer. And congrats on your 5 years. We'll make sure we're there on that special day. Please make sure you let us know. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Next up is Rachel Fife, Operations Manager with CME Pipelining. CME is an active and engaged member at the Chamber. Not only are they deeply involved in our networking events, they participate in 5 cost-saving programs. CMI is the Tri-State's only dedicated trenchless sewer and pipe repair company. They provide a faster and cleaner way to replace or repair failed sewer pipe without an excavator. No digging means less mess. Welcome, Rachel.
Thanks, Thomas. That was a very great introduction. I appreciate that. If you hear some noise, I'm in our training room because I want to be able to show everybody a little bit about what we do, so I apologize. So CME was founded in 1999, and we were the very first company to bring trenchless sewer repair to Cincinnati homeowners. And when we did that, we decided we were going to be dedicated to just doing the trenchless repair because of the opportunity that homeowners have to have less mess and a faster repair and get their facilities back up and going. So what is trenchless sewer pipe repair, or CIPP, which stands for cure in place pipe? It is a way to get into your damaged sewer and put in a new pipe without digging up the entire trench. I'm sure everybody's seen neighbors or even yourself where you've had to install a new sewer lateral and it looks like a big graveyard in your yard with big mounded dirt. Nobody wants that. And so that's where trenchless comes in. I'm going to take you over here to our display. It's a little bit of a visual, so you'll be able to see more of what I'm talking about. All right, there we go. Okay, so here we have the clear pipe is the damaged pipe. There are holes in there, and you can see the water is just dumping out of there. So the holes represent cracks in your pipe that could come from roots or something like that. And that's groundwater infiltrating your sewer. The blue pipe is one that we lined. So we were able to line that without digging up anything. We go through a small hole to access the pipe. We insert that liner and then we cure it with the heat. And it's a heat cured epoxy resin. And as you can see, there's no water coming out. It's a brand new structural pipe. And usually it's done in a few hours and not a few days. right. Let's see. Okay, and then also I really quickly want to talk about some of the things exciting happening here. Last year in the middle of the pandemic, in May, CME actually acquired SWS. It's a company that's been around in Cincinnati since the 70s. They're gonna do large diameter cleaning and televising. And what that means is the sewer main in the street or large storm pipes, we're able to come in there with a big vac truck, get it all cleaned out, use a big robotic camera, go down, take video to inspect the pipe. We acquired the company. It just made sense to expand our offering to our clients and expand our clients. With that, and the growth that we're experiencing, just like everybody else, we are hiring. So if you know anybody that wants to get a start in the trades, we will train, send them my way. And then last thing I want to talk about really fast, I know I don't have a lot of time, is the community involvement here at CME. We really are passionate about letting our employees come to us and let us know what charitable organizations that they are passionate about, and then we will invest in that. We also are involved with CMPA, Cincinnati Master Plumbers Association. They are training up the next generation of plumbers, which there's going to be a shortage of 400 and something thousand just this year. So if you have any young people that are looking for a career, plumbing is the way to go. Appreciate it.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rachel. I've been told that CME is who you call when no one else can do the job. Is that true?
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Thomas.
For our last showcase, we'll hear from Carl Satterwhite. He's the president and owner of the RCF Group. RCF provides tailored and comprehensive workplace solutions based on a 3D process. They start with understanding their client goals, then they create innovative and integrated solutions to deliver the best of product, service, and cost savings to ensure superior client value. Carl joined our Chamber Board of Directors in 2011 and has served on the executive committee until 2015. RCF is a momentum investor and has been with the Chamber since 2004. Welcome, Carl.
Good morning. And on behalf of the RCF Group leadership, Scott Robinson, Brian Lindholz, and myself, we are excited to be a part of this Chamber moment. The Cincinnati Regional Chamber has been a part of our foundation from the beginning, a nearly 20-year journey of validation, competency, and proof statements that validate the relationship and that the Chamber is at the foundational core of our success. The RCF Group, we provide commercial furniture, architectural interiors, and facility services. We're very fortunate to provide those on a local level, a regional level, and a national level. We've actually even gone global with a handful of local corporations to validate our scale. The Chamber members you see listed here and customers have not only provided the ability for us to prove our value proposition, but also to attract other businesses and validate for them our capabilities, our competencies, and our scale as a minority business that also just happens to be a good business led by a minority. We're excited to be a part of this moment, to be able to share what we as a one member have been able to accomplish. Our relationships with the Chamber has also allowed us to exhibit our G2, G2G, give to get to give. How do you give to a community that's given you so much? Our philanthropy has been well known in this city, and it really has come at the heart of being created as a part of the Chamber. How can we do for other businesses what's been done for us? So oftentimes you'll find the leadership of RCF Group meeting with other businesses, those who might be considering strategic alliances or joint ventures, or small businesses that are looking for opportunities to grow. We're excited to be a part of the fabric of this community and the tapestry of business that makes Cincinnati great. Thank you very much for this opportunity to introduce to some and to reflect to others about the RCF Group.
Thank you, Carl. It's businesses like the RCF Group that really make this community hum, ones that are willing to be installed in the fabric and help others and help partner with others. So impressive. Thank you, Carl. I want to thank these three members for being part of our monthly member briefing. If you're interested in being part of the monthly member briefing, please go to cincinnatiChamber.com/monthly member briefings and submit an interest form or reach out to us. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce Mark Kylander, a colleague here at the Chamber. Mark has been a star on the news lately, and I'm excited for you to hear the updates. Mark, take it away.
Thank you, Thomas. I don't think I'm a star yet, so we'll just say that that thing is rising as we go. Thanks, everybody, for allowing me a few minutes to share a couple updates with you that we're doing here at the Chamber. As Thomas said, I'm Mark Kylander. I'm the Regional Data and Policy Manager here. I help run our Center for Research and Data, which is something you may not have heard a lot about yet. That's because we've been taking some time to stand this up as a tool for us to use for our members, for our stakeholders and partners in the community, and for a lot of the work that we do here in the Government Affairs Department, which is the department that I'm part of, to drive policy solutions. And the Center for Research and Data is designed to provide insight and analysis on the best data that we have around our region's economy specifically, and some of the main issues that we are working on. And today I'm excited to talk with you all about one of the issues that we've been spending some time thinking a lot about and putting a lot of research and time and effort into. And this is our region's housing situation. Last week, we had about 60 people in our office, which was a sight for sore eyes, to be sure, and released a new report called Embracing Growth, Principles for Regional Housing. We spent the better part of the last year learning from a lot of folks who have spent time talking about housing. That's their everyday line of work. It's the community that they serve, and it's the business that they run. So we have perspectives from developers, from advocates, from government officials who are involved in this space. And what we were trying to do with this report is set some baseline expectations around what is going on across the region in housing, and what can we be doing to learn from other communities across the country, and how can we be thinking about housing and growth together. Oftentimes we found that conversations around housing specifically been pretty fractured, with folks stuck in the silo that they're working on, and they're doing really good work. But we're hoping to elevate a lot of that work to bring more people into the conversation and to talk about the economic implications of housing and growth. We'll go ahead and go to the next slide here. We wrote 8 principles that we believe should be the foundation for conversations around housing policy and practice throughout the region. I won't read all of these because I trust all of your ability to read them. And we'll also drop a link to the full report in the chat, so you can go and access everything that we put out there. What we hoped to do with these 8 principles was, again, establish a framework that we could take out to the community and provide a set of data and recommendations that established a baseline of understanding for where we are, where we're short, and where we need to go into the future. The data in the report compares Cincinnati to 15 other regions across the country to see where we are in terms of growth in housing, production of housing, population growth, and how the two variables are intertwined. And it also looks at specific pieces in our region. How are we doing in, say, Hamilton County versus Warren or Boone counties, 2 of our fastest growing counties. We're also tying this housing work to much of the work that we've done in the last 5 or 6 years with transportation. We, of course, just passed the Issue 7 levy back in the spring, and wanted to take full advantage of the opportunity that presented to us as a community. And having that kind of work tie in with the housing development that we're doing is critically important to take full advantage of what we're talking about in terms of getting people from where they live through the transportation system to places like your businesses, to work, to education, to healthcare, to all of the other amenities that we're building here in the region. So there's a lot of really good information in here. We would encourage you to read the report. If you're interested in learning more about housing, please reach out to me, to any of our government affairs team. This is something that we're going to be spending quite a bit of time working on over the next couple of months, even into the next couple of years, because this is such a big and important topic that's really vital to our long-term economic health and sustainability as a region. And it's something that we feel everybody can join and be a part of. Just broadly, we've got a lot of government affairs advocacy that we're doing right now. And we know that housing is going to be an important part of that. If you wanted to learn any more about our government affairs work, or the different things that we're talking with elected officials, whether that's locally, state, or federal, we'd encourage you to reach out to any of us on the government affairs team. We hope to be a great resource for you as you hope to learn more about these things. So again, I would just point people to that report, and we would love to have an opportunity to work with any of you who are interested in learning more about this in the future. So with that, I will go ahead and give it back to Thomas.
Thank you. Great work, and congratulations to Mark and team. I know Mark will tell you that was a team effort, and that was it's a very impressive document. And I see that Spencer has shared it on the chat on where to find the information. So thank you. The Cincinnati Regional Chamber has a total of 10 benefit partners who offer ways to save you money on everyday business expenses and help you enhance your business. Today, we're excited to have Aaron Murrow, the Senior Advisor of Infintech, as our featured cost savings partner. Infintech's mission is helping you get paid in a faster, safer, and smarter way. They help businesses be more competitive and profitable. And they do this by learning more about your needs and then making customized recommendations for the latest technology and services to help you excel and maximize cost savings. Infintech processes over $4 billion per year in payments and is a top 5% industry intention rating. That is super impressive. Infintech has been a partner with the Chamber for over 15 years. Welcome, Aaron.
Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate it. Thanks to everyone for having me today. You know, Thomas mentioned that we have been a partner with the Cincinnati Chamber for 15 years. And I like to highlight that as something of significant relevance because, you know, there's a lot of bad processors out there, people in our industry that give our industry a bad name, because I know everybody's like, here we go, here's the credit card guy, right? But I can assure you that if we weren't treating chamber members fairly, if we weren't truly helping them with a return on their investment, that our relationship would not have lasted 15 years. I'm sure there's a lot of payment processing companies that would love to be in our position. So it's something that we covet and something that's very important to us. I just want to talk a little bit about us, a little bit about what's going on in the industry and how we can help you. So first of all, Infintech, like Thomas said, we're very proud that we are in the top 5% retention rate in this industry. And that is a testament to how we do business. What our goal for you as members is to help you navigate your payment processing and come up with a solution that, hopefully obviously saves you money, but also solutions that save you time. We go well beyond just swiping a credit card. We have complete AR solutions for companies. We specialize in business to business as well, to where if you're making business to business payments, we are the company that can do more for you than any other processor locally. And as Rachel Fife will tell you, what we seek to gain is to sit down and just have a business conversation with our members and find out what their needs are. We're not the guys that are incessantly calling you on the telephone every single week saying that we can save you money and promising things that won't be delivered. That's not how we do things. So I want everybody to kind of just take a second and think about the word expense versus the word investment. What you guys have paid to be a chamber member is in fact an investment. And what everybody wants from their investment is a return on their investment. We help you gain return on your investment. It is not uncommon for us to save members enough that offsets their complete membership total, or at least a good portion of that for your membership investment in the chamber. We are a benefit that you should take advantage of and get that ROI delivered to you. We do free consultations with people just to learn about more. And we'll be the first people to tell you that if we can't help you, that we can't help you. We're not in this business to make people's lives difficult or more difficult. We're in it to make their lives a little bit easier. So I would encourage everyone, thank you, Spencer. I would encourage everyone to take advantage of this great benefit and get the return on your investment in the chamber that you deserve.
Thank you, Aaron. I encourage everybody to contact Aaron and find out how they can help save you money. He talked about a free analysis for you. It's a no-risk situation. They're going to be very honest. They're going to tell you if they can help you save or if they can't. And I look at that as a sense of security. At least you know if they can help you, at least you know you're getting some of the best that you have out there. So thank you, Aaron and Infotech, for your partnership. I do want to mention one other thing with Infotech. We are so excited here at the Chamber to announce that we're going to be hosting our first in-person networking event at Infotech's offices in Blue Ash. Join us on August 10th from 8:30 to 9:30 in the morning. You're going to receive an invitation, everybody on the call, later this morning. It's a simple, you register for the event. We'd love to see you out there. We're so excited to here at the Chamber to be having these new Converge, not the new Converge networking meetings, but Converge networking meetings in person for the first time in quite a few months. So we're excited about that. So look for that invitation. I encourage you to attend. I look forward to seeing you out at Infotech's facility out in Blue Ash next week. On behalf of the Chamber, I want to thank you for spending your morning with us. And I ask that you please join us again on September 2nd at 8 a.m. for our next monthly member briefing. Wish you all a safe, prosperous, great month. Look forward to meeting a lot of you face-to-face over the next 30 days. And take care, and thank you for attending.